So these videos were just a quick reminder of lesson 1 in chapter 6. Okay, guys, can you remember the different types of organisms? We learned that we have two types or two
Producer
kinds.
and consumer.
Yes, producers and consumers. Can you guys remember what producers did?
Yes.
Producers
Yes,
They eat plants.
they do. They eat plants
Yes.
or producers eat plants. Are you sure about that?
No.
Yes,
The consumer.
No, guys, producers are the plants.
Yes.
Yes, they are the one that make their own food. Remember, they produce
Yes.
their own food. That's why we call them producers. And we had multiple examples like grass, trees, bushes, algae, and there are phytoplanktons, and those are microscopic organisms that live in the oceans.
Miss Noah, can you hear me?
Yes, Liane, I can hear you. Okay. So guys, again, we learned about the producers, and they are the living things that can make their own food, if you guys remember.
Yes.
Yes. You also, I'm sorry about that. This is not yours. Let me close this one. Okay. You also learned about the other type, which are the consumers, and those are the living things that cannot make their own food. They need to get the energy by eating other organisms, remember?
Yes.
Yes, whether they will eat plants only, that's why we call them herbivores, or they will eat meat only, that's why we call them carnivores, or they will eat both plants and animals, and that's what we call omnivores. Remember that? Guys, I will mute you because there is some background noise. Okay, so again, we learned that we can group the living organisms up to what they eat, if you guys remember. Okay.
Yes.
Yes. We learned that we have two main groups, producers at first, and then we have consumers. Yes, producers make their own food or produce their own food like plants and algae, and some microscopic organisms like phytoplanktons. And we learned about the consumers, and those are living things that can't make their own food. They need to get the energy by eating, okay, like all other organisms. Yes, Rugmini, are you speaking to me?
Yes.
I cannot hear you, Habibti. Raise your voice.
Miss, consumers eat plants and animals.
Well, that's up to the type of consumer. I mean, I cannot say that all consumers eat plants and animals because, you know, some consumers eat plants only, and that's what we call herbivores. Other consumers, yes? Yes, come again, Rugmina. I cannot hear you.
Some eat only plants and some eat only animals.
Exactly, yes. And others eat both. Thank you so much, Rugmini. Yes. So we have a lot of examples of consumers. We can say most of the other living things other than plants, okay? Like deers, eagles, frogs, people, all of those are consumers, okay? We also learned about the third type, which we call decomposers. And those are the living things that break down the dead or the remains of dead plants and animals. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, because after a living thing dies, it starts to break down. Okay, you can see this in plants. Okay.
Okay.
Yes, you can see this in plants. I mean, if you have any kind of fruit at home and you just leave it there, after a while you will see that it became, you know, smelly and started to break down. That's what we call decomposition, which means to break down into you know, smaller pieces that will actually go through the soil afterwards. Okay. Most of the decomposers are very small. Some of them you can see them with microscope. Okay. Others you can see them with your eyes, like the earthworm, the mushrooms. Those are big famous examples of decomposers. We have some types of bacteria also. Okay. Guys, are you still with me?
Yes.
So we have
Yes.
three
Yes.
types.
Yes.
We have, again, producers make their own food. Consumers, they need to eat. They need to get energy by eating. And we have decomposers that feed on the dead or the remains of living dead, I'm sorry, the remains of dead plants and animals, okay? Okay, so can we consider decomposers like any, can we group them with consumers or producers? No, they have their own group, okay? Okay?
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Then we learned about the three types of consumers, and we learned that herbivores, they eat only plants. We have many types like panda, we have bees. Bees are nectar eaters. They eat the nectar from plants, and that's why we consider them herbivores. Okay, cows and buffaloes. Some people actually are herbivores because they eat only fruits and vegetables. Okay.
Okay.
We
Okay.
also learned about the carnivores, and
Miss
those
Noor.
are the other type of consumers that feed on other organisms. Yes.
The people who are on herbivores that only eat plants are called vegetarians.
Yes, vegetarians. Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so again, guys, back to what I was saying. Thank you, Muhammad. Back to what I was saying. Carnivores are the other example, sorry, the other type of consumers that feed on other organisms. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, and now we have the third type, which are called omnivores, and those eat both plants and animals.
And animals.
We can say they eat both producers and consumers, because now we know plants are producers, right? So we can say that omnivores eat
Yes.
both producers and consumers, okay? We have some questions in here. How are producers
Consumer.
and decomposers alike and how they are different? Well, they are all alike is that they need all the basic needs. They need energy, they need space, they need water, they need shelter, right? But each of them gets this energy in a different way, okay? So they are alike is that they all need energy, but they are different in the way